Hola, hola, chicos. Buenos días, buenas tardes, depending on the time that you are watching este video. Buenos días if you are in one of my morning classes. Buenas tardes if you are in my afternoon classes. Bienvenidos, bienvenidas. Today we are doing something a little different because obviously I am out today. But because I am out and I'll be out the rest of the week, I want to make sure that we don't fall behind and that you're not just doing busy work. So, today we're going to be focusing on el verbo estar, which we have used before, but we have not explored all forms of the verb. And I am going to explain in detail how to use this verb with, or depending on the subject. So, what is estar? Estar is an irregular verb that means to be. In Espanol, we have regular verbs that follow a certain pattern, and then we have irregular verbs. Estar happens to be an irregular verb. We have not seen any regular verbs yet, but we will be in the near future. And we use estar to describe temporary states of being, conditions, or locations, but in this precise moment, we are going to be using estar to talk about our emotions. When we talk about emotions, we always use the verb estar. So, for example, here we have yo estoy feliz. So, estoy should be familiar. We should know that estoy means I am. There is a specific checking question that I sometimes have you guys do. It's the one that says ¿Cómo estás hoy? And then there's a few options. It's like estoy bien, estoy más o menos, estoy súper bien, estoy mal. There we have used estoy. Remember, I just said we have used estar before. Well, that's when we've used it. So today we are going to be exploring all 5 different forms of the verb estar depending on who we are talking about. So to form sentences, there is a simple structure that I like to teach my students because it helps them remember. Okay, first we have the subject. So who is the subject? The subject is the person we are talking about. Then we are going to use the verb estar, but it's going to be conjugated, meaning that it's going to look a little different than estar. And then lastly, you are going to be using the emotion. So subject, estar, and then emotion. Here's some example sentences. Yo estoy triste. I am sad. Tú estás cansado. You are tired. Ella está enojada. She is angry. So when I say yo, I'm always going to use estoy. If I am talking about tú, we are going to be using estás. And if we are talking about él or ella, or even usted, and we'll see that in a little bit, we're going to use está. Okay, so when we use estar, it's important that we know that gender has to agree with the emotion. So in Espanol, we have adjectives. In this case, I'm going to refer to adjectives as emotions, okay? So some emotions have to change depending on the gender of the person we are talking about. In the vocab list that we have been studying for emociones, you guys can see that there it's like the emotion. If it's cansado, you'll see cansado and then slash a. That's because cansado is masculine, cansada is for feminine nouns. So if the subject is masculine, a boy, we're talking about a man, a boy, we're going to be using the masculine form of the emotion. If the person we're talking about is feminine, a woman, a girl, then we're going to be using the feminine form of the adjective. So here are 2 examples. Él está cansado. Notice how we're using cansado, the O at the end, because we are talking about él. Then we have ella está cansada. We're using the A at the end because we're talking about ella, una chica. Okay? Then we also have to learn that when we are using estar, our emotion has to change depending on how many people we're talking about. So in Espanol, adjectives with estar must agree in number with the subject. So if we are talking about una persona, singular, where the adjective or the emotion is going to stay singular. Now, if we're talking about more than one person, we are going the emotion is going to become plural. So here are two examples for singular. So, él is singular, right? We're talking about he, una persona. Él está cansado. Ella está triste. Okay, it becomes it's singular. Cansado, triste is singular because we're talking about one person, él and ella. Then we have plural. Ellos están cansados. We add an S at the end of cansado because we are talking about more than una persona. Then we have ellas están tristes. They are sad. And we add an S to tristes because we're talking about more than one person. Okay, so these are all 5 forms of the verb estar. So yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, nosotras, ellos, ellas, ustedes. These are subject pronouns. We have been studying those. The notes are posted in Google Classroom. And then we have, these are all 5 forms of the verb estar. I told you guys that this chart was going to be important, and here is why. So when we talk about yo, it's always going to be estoy. Tú, look at the placement, estás. Él, ella, usted, we're going to use está. Nosotros, nosotras, it's going to be estamos. And then we have ellos, ellas, ustedes, it's always going to be están. So I color-coded them for you as well, so it makes it easier. So if it's yo, okay, I know I'm going to use estoy. If it's tú, okay, it's estás. Él está. Ella está, etc. Okay? All right, so one last thing. Let's see how well you guys do. Now it's your turn. Fill in the blanks with the correct form of estar and the emotion. So we're going to be using one of these. I put the subject pronouns up on top so that it helps you choose the correct one. So, número 1 dice yo, blank, emocionada. I am excited. Yo, so it's yo right here. Yo, we're going to be using estoy. Yo estoy. Yo estoy. Tú, it's right here. Tú estás. Then we have ellos, aburridos. They are bored. Ellos aburridos. We're going to use están because it's ellos. Then we have nosotros. Nosotros estamos nerviosos. We are nervous. Okay, chicos, I hope this video made sense. This is all from me today. If you need to rewatch, please rewatch. More will stick. I will add the notes in Google Classroom for you as well. Please email me if you guys have any questions, and just do the activities as they come up, okay? Have a wonderful rest of the week, chicos. Nos vemos pronto. Hasta luego.